Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Philosophy of Fitness podcast, episode number 52. My name is Haley. I'm going to be your host today, and every single day that you are tuning in, we are at 52 episodes. Holy moly, that is crazy. Thank you guys for tuning in each week. I am so grateful, seriously, for everybody who's been a part of this journey and been along this ride with me. It's been so fun, and I've talked to so many amazing people. So, I just want to say thank you. But today I really kind of just wanted to talk to you guys about some of my favorite manifestation techniques that I've used in my life and sort of to kind of just shed some light on my experience with manifesting, what has worked for me, what I've realized, mistakes that I used to make along the way. And hopefully you can kind of learn something from this. Manifesting is something that's so easy to do. It's also really popular right now. I feel like a lot of people are talking about manifesting on TikTok and YouTube even too. Manifestation and even spirituality in general, I think, is really having a moment, which is awesome. I think it's so incredible that more people are talking about this kind of stuff. It's so freaking cool. But I did want to take some time to share my perspective a little bit of my journey with what I have realized works for me. And hopefully you can kind of pick something out of this episode that works for you too, so that you can take that manifestation game to a whole nother level. So if you're interested in hearing about my manifestation process and learning some tips for yourself, then definitely go ahead and stay tuned. All right, so manifestation, where do we start? I think a great place to start with this would be to just define what manifesting is. And I'm just going to kind of share at least my understanding of manifestation. So basically, what I have come to understand is that manifesting is using your mind, your heart, your emotions, and your intentions to have your outer reality mirror that which you desire on the inside. So manifesting is really, really powerful. And I think it was made powerful most predominantly, at least a few years ago. It was made the most common and popular, rather, by the documentary called The Secret. Now, I don't know if anyone has seen this documentary. It's pretty awesome. It was really the first thing that introduced me to the law of attraction back in 2013. I saw that video, I think it was on YouTube at the time. I don't know if it is anymore, but basically it was this really high level overview of the law of attraction and how thoughts become things, and also visualization. Visualizing was a really big part of the message that was portrayed in The Secret. So visualizing is also a really huge part of manifestation. Now, manifesting has a lot of different layers, and I guess we should kind of just break it down into a few categories. So we have a visualization, like I said. Affirmations are another huge part of it as well. And then I think the other overarching thing that's really in the background that's driving both the visualization and the affirmations is your emotion and your intention that you're feeling with it. So I guess we'll just start with visualization. It's kind of self-explanatory, as the phrase would suggest. Basically, it's whatever you are desiring to attract into your life or you're seeking to manifest, you want to visualize coming into your experience. So during that documentary, The Secret, I remember there was a scene where there was this man sitting on a couch, and he was visualizing that he was driving this dream sports car, and he was pretending that he was holding the steering wheel and adjusting, everything in the car. And that was how they had portrayed the experience of visualizing. Now, I think that visualizing is so powerful. I do it all the time. And I think the most important thing with visualizing is to really just allow yourself feel as if it is literally happening right now. So a great way to go about a visualization process, at least in my opinion, is through some sort of meditation. Now, you can either find a guided meditation that will take you through the visualization process, or you can just do it yourself. So it doesn't have to be something that's crazy and transcendental, or that you need, tons of meditating experience to do. It's basically just take some time aside during your day. The morning and the evening are probably the most powerful. I'll kind of circle back to that, but take 5 to 10 minutes, just connect with your breathing. And then from there, visualize that ideal reality, that ideal version of you as if it were you now, and just feel in every fiber of being that that is who you are, right? And I think that visualizing too is really powerful. So I'm going to share an exercise with you that I think is awesome that they had shared in The Secret. So you can do this actually as you're listening to this right now. If you're driving, obviously maybe don't do it, but I want you to close your eyes and you're going to put your hand in front of your face. So like your palm is facing towards you. Now with your eyes closed, I want you to visualize everything that's on your hand. So like every line, every little crease, maybe if you have, I don't know, like a line going across your palm or any little crevice between your fingers, everything that you can, like in such minute detail. Visualize your hand as if it's like literally in front of you, because it is, but like see it in your mind's eye. And as you start to really focus on this, you'll start to find that the more focused you become, the more clear that the vision gets. So you can do this with a bunch of different things. And I actually love practicing this on myself and doing it with like a bunch of different things, where I'll be sitting in this room and I'll try to take like a mental snapshot of it and then try to recreate that in my mind's eye as clearly as I possibly can. And this is so powerful and helpful for when you're visualizing, because it allows those visualizations to feel that much more realistic, because you're training your mind to have that capacity to visualize something, as if it's right in front of you or as if you're experiencing it. You can even imagine like taking yourself to a place, like in your mind, visualize yourself, walking on the beach, incorporate all of your 5 senses, like feel the sand, smell the air, whatever it is, just make the visualization feel as realistic as possible. So if you're someone that's really just like starting out with manifesting and you really want to work on your visualization skills, take that time aside, literally allow it to feel as if it is truly happening. Let your mind go there. Let yourself go there. It's so powerful. And I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but the reason why it's so powerful for you to visualize as if it's already happening is because the main catalyst towards getting you what you want, especially when it comes to manifestation and visualization, is feeling the emotion connected to that thing that you're desiring. So that's really what's bridging the gap between where you are now and where you're trying to go, is because you're allowing yourself to energetically and vibrationally feel as if you are already in that version of you. That's the most important thing. You're already feeling that emotion. And now, from a basic understanding, our emotions are really what run the show. I think The Secret gets it a little bit twisted sometimes, and I think it's an awesome documentary, like I said. But for me, my big mistake with it was that I thought that just thinking good thoughts would get me what I wanted. And I didn't realize that the emotion is really what is driving the entire process of manifesting, of visualizing, of creating your ideal reality. If you're thinking those happy thoughts, if you're thinking those thoughts about where you're trying to go, but deep down emotionally, you can feel, maybe even subconsciously, that something is not aligned, or you're feeling frustrated, or you're feeling, you could say, I feel like shit, but I need to go do my affirmations now. So I'm going to just like run through a list of things about myself, even though I feel like shit. Like, that's not going to work. It's a nice thing to do, I think, but I think what really needs to happen is to figure out how to get to that frequency, how to tap into that frequency of where you're trying to go before you even access that thing. So I think in my experience, and what I would suggest to you, is that it really just comes down to giving yourself permission to feel that now as if it has already happened. This is what changed the game for me when I manifest and when I visualize. And I'll share something with you guys early on, because when I first discovered The Secret and the law of attraction, I was so excited about it. And actually, around the time that I first discovered it was when I was auditioning for American Idol. So I actually remember it was in Boston, and I was laying in the hotel room the night before the auditions. And it's funny because I'll explain how my manifesting process got kind of clouded as this goes on. But basically, I remember laying down on the bed, and I walked myself through an entire visualization process of singing in front of the judges. I pictured myself in the outfit I was wearing. I pictured how the perfume that I was going to wear smelled. I pictured how my hands felt, I pictured myself walking in, and I pictured their faces reacting to me, and I pictured the amazing energy that they were giving me and that I was giving them. And I pictured this entire process down to the nitty-grittiest little details, and walked myself through the entire thing. And that next day, when I auditioned, it was exactly as I had envisioned it. It felt exactly the same as how it felt when I was walking myself through that visualization process. And I think that's why it was so powerful for me, because I really allowed myself to feel as though I was already at that vibration and that frequency. Now, where the visualization and the manifestation process gets kind of cloudy and where I totally effed up was getting way too wrapped up in it. So, obviously it worked for me. I genuinely believe that I manifested getting on American Idol, like without a doubt. I think that I manifested that for myself. But I think what happened was there was a gap of time of like a few months in between where I was practicing and getting ready. So there was like the main auditions and then there was Hollywood Week that came afterwards. So it was like maybe September to December or something. And for that entire time, I'm telling you, this is such a learning experience. So please learn from my mistakes. I used that entire time to compare myself to every other contestant that I scoured on the internet to potentially find that I thought would be like a threat to me. And I was worried about how they would do. And I became so obsessed with the idea of visualizing. And I also became so obsessed with the idea that I had to be thinking a positive thought at every second of every day, or otherwise I was going to totally fuck up my vibe. Like I literally thought that if I felt a negative emotion or if I allowed my mind to go into a negative place or allow myself to really just genuinely feel how I was feeling, that it would totally throw me off and that it would cut off my manifestations. It would cut off everything that I was visualizing and working towards. And I have realized now that that was a real big mistake. That is not the way to do it, guys. This is a whole nother kind of tangent, but understand too that we are human and part of the human experience is to just allow yourself to feel the full spectrum of emotions. So if you're forcing yourself to feel happy all the time, like what I was doing, and I was just burying down, little minor things that would irritate me or make me upset and just like keep pushing them down and down and down further, like it's there, right? It's still there. And you can almost think of it as a balloon where it's just kind of sitting there waiting to erupt. And it causes this anxious mindset of needing to be in control of everything and really holding yourself back. I think that was what definitely held me back is I became so obsessed with like manifesting and visualizing, but also comparing myself to other people, which was a huge mistake. Whatever you are trying to manifest, whatever you are working towards, please do not compare yourself to anyone else. The only person you should ever compare yourself to is the person that you were yesterday. Never compare yourself to anyone else's journey, anyone else's, whatever it is. Don't compare yourself to somebody else because that's taking energy. It's tainting your energy because now you're putting your energy into somebody else and it's throwing off your vibration. And it's really just not, honestly, I don't think it's conducive to anything, especially when it comes to manifesting. So just understand that too. With whatever it is you're trying to manifest, don't fall in the trap of comparing yourself to somebody else because that is what I did. And it made me really anxious because even though I was going through affirmations, even though I was going through the visualization process in the back of my mind, I was so hung up on like, oh my God, this spoiler article said that this person was going to be singing this song and this person seems like they're going to be going for the same kind of style of music that I am. And now they're a threat and now I need to do better than they're doing. And that's just like, it's such an easy way to taint your energy, but it's also so easy to solve. It's just like put blinders up, right? And just like stay laser focused on whatever it is that you're trying to do. Like just keep that focus on you, stay in your lane. I know people say it all the time, but it's so freaking powerful to just stay in your own lane, especially when it comes to this kind of stuff. So I hope that kind of explains at least the visualizing portion of it. And everything is really interconnected here when it comes to manifesting. So the second part that I'm going to move into that's really powerful is affirmations. So what are affirmations? Affirmations are basically words or phrases or a collection of words and phrases that we repeat to ourselves and affirm to ourselves that are supposed to help us align with the things that we desire. And they're also supposed to help us kind of permeate into our subconscious mind to tell ourselves the story that we are that thing. So I use affirmations all the time. I have a vision board in my bedroom that has a list of, I think about 10 or 12 affirmations on it that every morning I look up at. And I use a lot of affirmations in a lot of different ways. Now, the biggest thing about affirmations, in my opinion, is understanding I am. So in my opinion, again, I think that I am are two of the most powerful words in the universe because whatever you are attaching to the back half of that is literally creating your reality, whether you realize it or not. So it's the story that you're telling yourself about yourself, right? That is what I am is in a nutshell. So if you're telling yourself, I am a failure, or I'm not good enough for this, or, oh, I can't get to that point, I'm not even worthy of achieving that goal, you're setting yourself up for failure, and you're really being your own worst enemy because those words carry weight. I had a guest on the podcast a while ago. His name was James McCrae. If you guys want to listen to that episode, but he had this amazing quote about how spelling is like casting spells. Like our words are casting spells. And I think that's so true. And a lot of us don't even sometimes realize what we're attaching to that I am because we get so caught up in just the autopilot state of mind and, getting wrapped up in whatever the case may be with that and just really not paying attention to what we're telling ourselves. And I think the more you become aware of what you're attaching to that I am, the more you can start to understand the power of affirmations. So a great way to start with this, my suggestion would be to grab a piece of paper and write 10 lines, right? Like 10 line items. At the top of it, you're going to say, thank you, universe. I am so happy and grateful now that I am. And then you're going to fill in each of those 10 line items. And now here's the key. This is like what I said earlier with visualization. The key here is to keep it in the present tense or speak about it as if it's already happened. So I'm going to just share with you guys, like something of mine would be, thank you, universe. I am so happy and grateful now that I am a successful YouTuber and I'm able to share and spread my message with thousands of people. So that would be my first affirmation. And again, notice how it's in the present tense. So I'm speaking as if it is my current reality, right? Like I am a successful YouTuber. I have thousands of subscribers, et cetera, et cetera. Own it and claim it as if you are already there, and it's going to feel a little weird at first. It's going to feel like not natural for you to do that. It didn't for me, but it takes some getting used to. But once you like get into the flow of that and you just feel the awesome emotion that's connected to the things that you're trying to bring into your life, it's so powerful. So make that list of 10 affirmations. And what I want you to do and what I would encourage you to do, I mean, obviously you're an autonomous being, do whatever you want. But I would encourage you, if you want to accelerate your manifestation process, this is something that I recently started doing and is very powerful, is to take your list of affirmations that you've written in the present tense as if they've already happened, or even maybe in the past tense as if it's something you've already accomplished. Like, I'm so grateful that I ran the New York City Marathon in whatever amount of time. Just an example. Take your list of affirmations, find a mirror in your house. It really doesn't matter where it is, but as you're reading each affirmation, I want you to look at yourself in the mirror as you're saying it and affirm it to yourself. Once I started doing this, I feel like I finally was able to sort of bridge that gap between where I am now and stepping into the identity of where I'm trying to go and now where I'm evolving towards. It really just kind of helps you say, you know what, I am. Like, this is me. This is who I am. I'm doing it. And it just feels really powerful. So that would be my suggestion if you're looking to add some affirmations in. Now, affirmations are amazing because they can cover every area of your life. So what I usually like to do is when I'm writing a list of affirmations is break it down into categories. So I'll have my health as like my first category. Then I'll have career as the second one. Then I'll have, family and relationships and just general, abundance maybe as the last one. So you can kind of just like break it down into different categories and think about what you want in each single one of them. And don't sell yourself short either. I think a lot of times with manifesting, we still find ourselves trapped in that scarcity mindset. I know that I certainly have been, where you're like, oh, that's a bit of a too big of a reach for me. Like I've done this before too, by the way, guys, where like I'll write something as an affirmation that I'm looking to manifest. And I'm like, you know what? That seems like it's kind of unrealistic to do it in like a year or whatever. And then I pinch myself and I'm like, Haley, stop. Like, the universal giver of abundance, source energy is unlimited, right? So don't sell yourself short. I know how that feels, but I'm here to tell you to dream big. If your dream feels comfortable to you, you're probably not dreaming big enough. I'm saying that to you, and I'm saying that to myself as a reminder as well. So definitely don't be afraid to hold back with with your affirmations because they're so powerful. And a few other ways that you can use them too is just subliminally. So you can find like subliminals on YouTube where you can't detect it with your naked ear, so to speak, but there are affirmations included. I've made a few subliminal tracks here on YouTube. If you guys are interested, I've made one for abundance. I've made one for health as well, I believe. So check those out. Again, those are programmed. I programmed those with affirmations that you're not going to be able to hear with your naked ear, but your subconscious mind is still picking up on them. And those are super powerful because it's really your subconscious mind that's running the show. So once you get into there, man, everything else changes. So again, affirmations are super duper powerful. Remember, use them to your advantage. Don't sell yourself short and try that mirror technique. I'm telling you, definitely try that. I'd really be interested to hear how you guys enjoy that. But the last thing that I kind of want to just, talk about with manifestation is, like I said, the emotion and the intention is such a huge part of it because something that I've realized in my life is that you can be going through the motions with a lot of this stuff. With spirituality and spiritual practice, I think it's so powerful, but sometimes if you fall out of alignment a little bit or something comes up, you can say, okay, I'm doing my meditation now, I'm doing my scripting and I'm doing my affirmations, but like something feels like it's maybe like I'm just going through the motions. If you find yourself getting to that place, I would suggest just taking a break from it and really make sure that your heart is in it. Because again, if your heart is not in it and if you're not feeling it energetically and emotionally and vibrationally, then it's really not going to be that effective. Like, sure, it's going to be awesome to say those affirmations out loud. But again, the key and the root of all of this is your feeling and your frequency and your energy. One of my favorite quotes is from Nikola Tesla, and he said, if you want to know the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And I think that explains manifestation and the law of attraction so beautifully and so simply, but also it's like the most complex thing to try to wrap your mind around, right? Like it's crazy to even conceptualize that our thoughts are wavelengths and frequencies, and that our emotions are also wavelengths and frequencies, and that we are magnets for where we are energetically. Like, that's crazy. But it's really powerful once you realize that. And once you understand that you have all of the tools that you need within you, right? You have everything that you need within you to accomplish that, to align to that frequency. So it really just comes down to making that choice about taking the time to do it, taking the time to explore your inner world, to allow yourself to feel like you've already got it. Is so powerful. So again, my friends, as you're going through your manifestation process, as you are going through this beautiful journey of discovering the law of attraction and all of the power that you have within, remember that your feeling is the core of everything. So I really just encourage you to feel those good vibrations. That is really what has changed the game for me, is just feeling like it's already mine. I'll walk around, or, I'll drive in my car, and I'm like, I already am that version of me, which actually brings me to one last thing that I want to say. That's also really powerful. If you guys are interested in trying just another trick that's really cool. If you have a long commute, or if you're someone that's driving in the car all the time, this is something that I do. I literally will picture myself as I'm in the car, say, okay, as I'm driving to my destination, I am actively shifting towards the most optimal version of me, the most optimal version of my reality. So that almost becomes an experience in itself, right? Because it's like you're driving towards that destination of the most optimal version of you. I don't know. It's something cool that I do, and I think it's really powerful. And I like the way that it makes me feel, because I feel like I'm tangibly, getting there. I'm like shifting onto that train track, so to speak. So I certainly hope you guys learned some things about manifesting with this and the law of attraction, affirmations, and visualizations. I am so happy and grateful to have you here. Please, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button on YouTube and the notification bell as well. I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have a moment to drop me a review on Apple Podcasts, that would also mean the world to me. Really helps out the algorithm. It gets this podcast to more ears so that more people can tap into their potential and recognize how powerful they are. So thank you so much, everybody. I am sending you so much health, wealth, success, happiness, abundance, peace, love, and joy. And I will see you next time. Bye.